Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, more plans unveiled on the government's National Health Plan. We've got all the details, so stay tuned.
Also ahead tonight, growing a legacy, what the Prime Minister says will be a major part of that goal.
Police making a discovery off of Cowpen Road. We've got the details straight ahead.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishel Adderley.
And I'm Andrew Knowles. Thanks for joining us on The Bahamas Tonight.
Topping the news this evening, 80 health stakeholders were engaged in consultations today, 7 years after the National Health Plan bill was passed in Parliament, offering affordable health coverage for Bahamians.
As the government awaits the report, the discussion centered around an affordable and comprehensive answer to mounting health costs. We get that story tonight from Janae and Noel Ferguson.
For many Bahamians, adequate health care is unaffordable and could mean the difference between life or death. The government is determined to implement a national health plan to make health care accessible to all.
It's unacceptable that people still die and that people still do not have access because of lack of access to health services.
PAHO Representative Dr. Jerry Eckerman noted that the Bahamas is second in the region to move to implement such a plan. Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez noted that the plan is critical to national development, and although private insurance is robust, he said too many Bahamians either lack coverage or are denied coverage due to pre-existing conditions.
When you get old, they tend to drop you. And again, because of the older you get, the more likely you are to get sick. And they are in the business for profit. And so you see very often people who reach retirement, the premiums that they are charged, they can't afford. They have to make the choice between how they pay for their food or how they pay for their health. And that's the difficulty with private health insurance.
The cost of health coverage is also expected to be made affordable for most Bahamians. It's an issue that Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. DeLon Brennan addressed.
We have to provide for quality health services and pay for those services and pay for that access ahead of time. We have to be able to plan for that financing ahead of time so that when people need to come in, it's already taken care of and they don't have to worry about it on the back end.
So whether you make 100,000 or if you make 10,000, it's 5%. You're paying at the same rate. The other thing, everybody is a member and you're all part of something.
Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez says the plan is expected to come on stream by January of next year, and he assures that health care will be available for all Bahamians. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
It was reported yesterday that there are now 4 confirmed cases of the chikungunya virus in the Bahamas, and health officials concede that those numbers are expected to rise. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. DeLon Brennan gave a breakdown of the cases which have been uncovered.
Been able to trace that 2 of those cases definitely did have travel, and so we know that it's likely that they went to an area that is now essentially with a higher burden, and so we know where they got it from. The 3rd case we're actively investigating right now, so hopefully we'll also be able to do that. But the likelihood again is the more cases you get, the more likely it is that we're going to get local transmission as well. So we can't rest our laurels and say, oh, it was imported, so we don't have to worry about it. We're going to get more cases at some point. With the amount of travel, especially during the summer with people going places and other people coming to visit us, we're going to have more cases. What we need to do is continue to make sure we protect and we identify those cases. So
Brennan says residents know all too well the impact the dengue fever had on communities 2 years ago. And with the pending outbreak of chikungunya, he says dengue still remains a threat and persons may have both diseases presenting at the same time.
thing is the two don't really cause as much of an issue. You can get them together. So unfortunately, it's just going to mean that you're going to be sicker than you would have been with one versus the other. It doesn't necessarily increase your mortality a lot more if you were to have had dengue in the past and now get chikungunya. If you get one strain of dengue that you've had before and now you get another strain, yes, that causes you much more of an issue. But the fact of the matter is, because we're in a time of the year where we have rain, we have the mosquitoes, we have the circulating virus, people are going to be susceptible to both. And so we really have to make sure that we protect each other, protect ourselves against mosquito bites regardless of whether it's specific to dengue or chikungunya.
In other news this evening, the nation's leader expects that the creation of a robust agriculture and marine resources sector through the success of the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Sciences Institute will be the legacy of his administration.
Now, it's no secret that a considerable sum of money is being pumped into the creation of this vision, but Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie is already succeeding in efforts to recover those funds through direct investment with some of the world's wealthiest fly fishermen. Tonight, Clint Watson takes a look at the investment of the government and the vision to increase the attention of the world on a sleeping giant.
Already $23 million has been invested in the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute in Andros, and Prime Minister Perry Christie says they're not done. His administration is demonstrating the will to ensure the Bahamas diversifies its economy and can not only preserve our habitat but also feed ourselves. The new BAMSI campus is getting all of the international assistance that it needs to attract the world to the big yard to study or conduct research in the industry.
We have just hired another firm out of Orlando that specializes in designing campuses to come in to authenticate what has been done and to add to what we're doing. So the government has demonstrated a commitment to put in place this.
It's not difficult attracting investors to contribute to this new initiative. Prime Minister Perry Christie concluded talks in New York with a group of wealthy fishermen, many of whom have experienced the beauty of Andros over the years.
We're having this meeting is to get the best minds together with the best ideas to promote that and get the support financial support to if you will, fuel the intellectual and capacity building.
University of Miami professor Dr. Jerry Ault understands the Prime Minister's desire to provide youth in the country with skills and careers, which in turn transfer to bringing the high unemployment in the sector down. But the bigger goal is to reduce the $1 billion annual price tag to import food. It's a goal business persons in Florida are also eager to assist in.
And we go down to the Andros Island Bonefish Club every year, sometimes twice a year, and it's been fantastic.
Wow. And you're going to be going again this year?
Absolutely. Every year, without a doubt. We looked at the list. We've had over 100 people come over the last 15 years.
Wow.
And this group we've got together in New York, coming from all over the place, who are avid fly fishermen who love these species of bonefish, tarpon, permit,
and the Andros Island Bonefish Club.
Right.
And with the world watching the phenomenon unfold in Andros, Prime Minister Christie suspects that this kind of activity will only generate great economic boosts for the island. And in the long term, we'll see a new Andros, one with economic prosperity, providing opportunities and a diversified economy. In New York City, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Island Luck co-owner Sebastian Bastian, or Sebas, is weighing in on the ongoing debate over the establishment of a national lottery.
And as Fern Carey reports tonight, the businessman believes such an enterprise could be beneficial for the country if certain things are done.
As the government moves to regulate web shop gaming, co-owner of Island Luck, Sebastian Bastian, believes the establishment of a national lottery should also be considered. At the same time, Bastian noted that the enterprise would only be profitable if other gaming products such as sports betting and others are included in the mix.
The question on if a national lottery will be profitable, it's still up in the air. I'm an industry insider. I know the business. You can't make it on just numbers alone. You can't make it on just spinning alone. You can't make it on just sports betting alone. It's a combination of all those forms of gaming that would make that product profitable. So a national lottery on its own won't be as effective as many people may think.
He suggested that a national lottery be operated by industry insiders only, with the profits earmarked to fund education and sports. Regarding the move to have web shop operators pay a one-time penalty fee for operating unregulated, the numbers boss says it is a step in the right direction.
If there's tax owed to the government in any capacity, I think the government deserves to get its taxes. We have to think country first. All taxes that are taken from us goes towards the country, and without a country, there's no web shop, there's no hotel, there's no nothing. So I think the government deserves its fair share of taxes, whether it been past tax or future tax, and we have no objection to the tax being imposed on us.
Regarding criticism from some quarters that the system at Island Lux stores is rigged in order to ensure that the house takes in more than it pays out, Bastien gave this response.
That's totally untrue that the games are fixed or rigged in any way. We operate currently in many legitimate jurisdictions where our games are required to be independently tested by test laboratories, and the same games we run in those jurisdictions are the same games we run here in the Bahamas. What you have to understand about the players is there's thousands of people that flock to web shops on a daily basis, and thousands of people want to win. And the game is just not like that. And, we also want to further encourage people to, gamble responsibly. Don't game with funds that you have family obligations for and stuff like that. We promote responsible gaming at Island Lux.
Meantime, Bastien noted that his company will provide shares to the public within a year of regulation. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Well, still ahead tonight, murder mystery. A man is found dead in a farmland. We'll tell you what police know so far.
And tourism says this summer will be no ordinary day at the beach. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuels.